Hey family, hope you guys are doing well this morning. I hope everything is going well with you guys. I hope your life is propelling in the way that God sees fit for you. I pray God has healing amongst you. I pray God is doing some things new in you. I pray God is just showing you perspective that he's never shown you before. We're living in unprecedented times. God is doing something new in this season. God is having all control and all power as he always have and will. God is mighty. God is love. God is discerning of everything. God operates outside of time. God operates outside of what we may think God operates in. But listen, God is the ultimate God. He's the ultimate orchestrator. He has all power and control within himself. God is using us as tools, as instruments to profess his word across his land, across his nation, across his country, right? And we should do that in the essence that he wants us to do it in. I'm grateful for what God has done through me. I'm grateful for what God is going to do through you. God is going to do some wonderful things in this time. And we're in a season of transition. And the transition is already here. There's revelation in the world now. Just because you haven't received your revival yet, that's your fault. That's not of the God that I know. And revelation comes through prayer, through meditation, through love. Taking time throughout your day, right? To find out what God is saying to you, what he wants you to do for the people. Not for yourself, but for the people. The Lord knows your desires of your heart. The Lord knows what you need. He knows what you want. But God is most important in what he is trying to do with the kingdom. He's a kingdom God. He's all about kingdom, right? God has to control the entire world, not just you. You're part of it. You're part of the plan. You're the piece of that puzzle, right? So we must operate in that fashion to know that, hey, we cannot be selfish upon God, because God is going to do what he wants to do through each and every individual that he has ordained in his land to do his will. But today, I just want to come to you guys, just to give you guys a short word. I just came out of prayer, came out of meditation, and God is speaking. He always speaks, but you have to put yourself in place to receive a word from him, right? You got to take time out your day to meditate. You got to take time out your day to dream with him, to love with him, right? To carry the mind of Christ in this season. I'm excited for what God is doing, even though many people in this world are scared, they're worried, right? But I pray that you come out of that. Come out. I want to give you a spirit of a sound mind, a spirit of hope, a spirit of faith, knowing that God has all control and all power over everything, right? God didn't call us to be unfaithful in this season. He called us to be bold and courageous and wise and discern the times to understand what he is doing in this season. That is what God is asking us to do, right? And I pray for the families who have lost people in this season. I pray abundance amongst you. I pray that God refurbishes your thoughts, your strength, your encouragement, right? Your might. I pray that God does something wonderful in you, because in this season, yes, we have lost people, yes, and it's tragic, right? But that's just part of life, and we have to understand that, because someday me and you will pass along and go to the next world that God wants us to be in, to be with him, right? Whatever his judgment is that he places upon us, that's where we're going to go, right? But right now we got to focus and we got to believe. And I pray that God touches each and every one of your hearts, because I feel the heart of God in this season, and God is wanting us to love even more. God wants us to trust him even more. God is wanting us to open up, to be bold and courageous, to tap into his spiritual realm that he wants us to operate in, right? God is calling us to do this, and he's calling us to do this right now. And that is why I'm here giving you guys this video, right? But let me get started, right? And God gave me a word for the people as well, but I'm going to give it to you at the end. It's going to be short and brief, and it's just straight from my meditation and my prayer with him, praying in the spirit with him this morning, and just dreaming and loving with him this morning. But God gave me two verses this morning. Two verses. The first verse is Mark 12 and 31. It's coming out of the MSG version of the Bible, right? And it said, love others as you love yourself. There is no other commandment that ranks with these. Love thy neighbors as you love yourself, right? The enemy has fooled us to think that we are fighting against our neighbors, but really and truly we're fighting against principalities from dark places, right? We're not fighting against our neighbors. All of us has come into this world, into this system that the enemy has built, that is built upon a system that we didn't have any working knowledge of, right, in the beginning, right? You got to think about all the things that goes wrong, and that goes wrong in our system, how the system is built, right? It is not fair. It's obvious, right? But that is not up to us to break. God is wanting us to display his love, and the vengeance is God, not ours. God said, place your cares and your burdens upon him. And that's what we should do in this season. And because you're not casting those things upon it, and you're not displaying love, because love covers a multitude of sin. Love brings peace. Love brings harmony. Love brings harmony. It brings clarification amongst you. It brings perspective, right? And we must love no matter what. We must love all the leaders of this land, no matter what, if you don't believe in them, no matter if you don't trust in them, no matter if you don't feel like they're the best fit for it. We must love regardless, because that is what God wants us to do. God said the vengeance is his and the vengeance is not of ours. And we can't carry that burden upon us, because guess what? Now we can't be the tools and the instruments to operate in the spiritual realm where God wants us to be. Right? We can't hear God's voice, right? And like I said before, the enemy has made you think that we are fighting against our neighbors. We're not fighting against our white neighbors. We're not fighting against our black neighbors. We're fighting against spirits that are in those individuals who carry the spirit of hate, of envy, right? But we should be fighting against the people that sits high in this land that the devil has placed here to carry out his will. It's not your neighbors. But we should be coming together to pray together in spirit and truth, to know that we can get this corrected by faith, by prayer, right? God brings vision. He brings clarification. He brings purpose through prayer. Prayer is the ultimate thing that kickstarts the light that God wants you to walk in. And that's what we should operate. So we shouldn't be worried about what coronavirus is going to do with us next, right? We should be worried about who's the next president is going to be, because God says in his word in Daniel 2:21 that he controls the course of the world events. He removes kings and sets up other kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and the knowledge to the scholars, right? God has all control. But are you going to trust him and know that he has all control? It hurts me dearly to see these many people in this land that are just crying out to themselves, trying to control themselves, angry, talking bitter about other individuals. That's not of God. That is not of God. God doesn't want you being bitter. He don't want you being angry. He don't want you being hateful. He don't want you being sinful. Yes, we all will fall short of the glory someday, right? But God wants us to operate in love and kindness. Be bold, be courageous. When he gives you a word, speak upon it in the right season.